You are watching ILFL Soccer Nights.
Sponsored by Hawk and Eagle.
Good evening, welcome back. It's the ILFL Soccer Night, the show that is sponsored by Hawk and Eagle. We spoke in the last segment about the semi-finals that took place in the Unity Cup tournament that took place yesterday at Hackney Marshes. We spoke a little bit about the Legends Cup, talking about the Super Cup. The Super Cup semi-final teams were Aberfeldy, Beaumont, Tower Hamlets and London Tigers. Aberfeldy went up against Beaumont and shipped 4 goals to the lowly one that they put in, and the London Tigers, albeit a little bit surprisingly, went down by 5 goals to 1 to Tower Hamlets. Nanu, our statsman, dissect and give us the facts.
Sure. I mean, I'll start with Aberfeldy and Beaumont. With Aberfeldy, I think they did very, very well by reaching the semi-finals, and I think they exceeded their own expectations, definitely, considering that they're a new team and they haven't played each other for that long. And the other thing that to be considered is that the oldest player is only 22 years old.
They played really well. And
they did very well.
And they stood their ground against Beaumont for a while. But
they did, for about half an hour. It was still 0-0, and I think Beaumont were struggling at that time. But Beaumont, considering a very experienced team, and I think they had it quite easy after that, and they scored those 4 goals. It's a shame, Aberfeldy, but what can you do? A better team just simply won.
They'll move on, and they'll move on to bigger and better things. Tower Hamlets, great result for them, though.
Tower Hamlets, they're doing very well these days. They're winning all of these types of tournaments. They're putting a name everywhere now, and I think it's probably the right moment for them to start making a lot of noise, because they're very upcoming now, and they've got a lot of youngsters coming through the ranks. They're a very good team. You can't deny that. Tigers are also definitely a very good team, but on the day, I think Tower Hamlets really looked like they were more determined, and they wanted to be more successful, whereas Tigers, I think they lost their footing. They decided to play a more sort of a physical game, and Tower Hamlets just kept their head down.
Maybe
and
tried to match Tower Hamlets physically, and
that's right.
That played into the Tower Hamlets' hands, didn't it, in the end? And Tower Hamlets came out on top. So Tower Hamlets and Aberfeldy went. Tower Hamlets, went through. Beaumont went through to play them in the final. But what we're going to look at now is we're going to look at the Legends Cup final, which took place between London Tigers and Showbridge Bangla. A lot was said about Showbridge, high expectations. Tigers, we all know what they were about, a cracking final we all had to look forward to. Here are the highlights of that final, the Legends Cup final. Run the VT. And there it was, the Legends Cup, and Legends Cup champions are London Tigers. Congratulations to them. It was a narrow 1-0 victory. A good game, a great game. Shobuj Bangla made a great game of it. And guys, if you are watching, credit to you. You were the only team to beat Tigers over the 2 weekends of football. You only went down by a goal and you were never outplayed on the day. But credit where credit's due. London Tigers, here's the trophy that now sits in that ever-creaking and burgeoning trophy cabinet that you have. You must be extremely delighted.
I am actually. At least something we won that weekend, because our seniors got out in the semi-final with the other one. And I want to say congratulations to Tower Hamlets as well for actually winning the Super Cup. But I think when we went to the final in that one, I missed the week before, and I also missed part of the semi-final. So realistically, I didn't know who's who properly on the pitch. But from what I heard, you know, we lost with Shobuj Bangla the weekend before that. And so we went in quite prepared in the sense that we don't want to have any gaps and have easy goals that were going in for no slips up at the tournament. And I think our guys are also cautious about their nippy passes. Some of them are actually played in Bangladesh quite good level as well. So and they were quite fitter than us in some ways in the mobility wise. But we did have you know, 1 or 2 early chances. If they were to go in by Sufyan, he missed a couple of chances at the beginning. I think it would have been a little bit more calmer. But the match was very close. It was all throughout, and you know, credit to Shobuj for coming to the final and giving us a really good game, actually.
Absolutely. Really I think we all echo that, and there's probably not much more we can say about Shobuj. But where do they go from here? Are they now moving on to take part in Summer League? Are they going to take part in more Vets tournaments? Are they?
Well, one thing we need to, Shobuj actually go in different tournaments with different names.
Right, okay.
So if you recall in the 7-a-side tournament that we held earlier on, they were there as Sylhet Vets.
Right, yes.
Right? This 11-a-side, they're in as Shobuj Vets, and then in the Summer League Vets, they're in as Weavers Vets.
Oh, okay.
So it's the same group of players, just using different names.
Right, okay.
I think we'll have them in to ask why they use different names. But they love football.
They do,
love football,
they do.
And it's not just in Tower Hamlets they take part. They take part in tournaments all over the country. So it's great to see that. It's a nice touch, really.
Fantastic.
I think they will be remembered for Shobuj Bangla, because Shobuj Bangla was the team that came with food, who shared their food with everyone. They
did indeed. Eve and I got to sample their goods. Thank you very much for that, guys. Much appreciated. We should say, moving on from here now, then, London Tigers, the Vets, they just missed out in the 7-a-side league. They've got themselves a trophy. What next for London Tigers and Vets football?
I think Vets football is just keeping the retired players really alive, and I think putting us together. So a lot of us played for years and years together, really. And you know, people like Edson, our semi-pro players, Tariq's been our captain, well, he's been with the organisation as well. And I have to say he was very good and consistent throughout the tournament. Yeah, so I think, well, Tariq's been within the club. If you see, he's been playing with the club since 10 years old. Edson's been playing for about probably 8 years, 9 years. And I think what it is, you know, someone like Nessa, you know, he's been around since he's been like 13, 14. So I think, you know, from our point of view, the Vets whole system is just keeping all our players back again, because we're quite a competitive club as a team-wise. And even our Sunday teams, you know, our second and third Sunday teams playing in musical association leagues, both teams have got their own respective finals to play in, semi-finals to play in. So the standard of the teams are raised automatically, and the ordinary simple players that are part of London Tigers can't play. So hence the reason why we always create another Sunday team for them. Yeah. Now the Vets has kept the over 35s alive in the sense of ILFL, you know, thank you to them in organising Vets leagues. And really, realistically, everybody looks at me every Thursday when I go to the league, why do you travel that far, you know? And to us, 45 minutes an hour, I mean, one of our players comes from near Heathrow. It doesn't bother us, because the whole point of the organising is very well, and we actually enjoy the competition a little bit. And from that point of view, it's bringing all of us together. Absolutely. Come together. And I think that's what's it done, not only just bringing ourselves together, but also we're seeing a lot of the players that are actually we played against for years and years. Yeah. And because really our time is gone in some ways in the playing of senior football, and I think this is something that we appreciate more. than anything else. And you know, that's the main reasons why we look forward for these vets.
So you're taking part in tournaments upcoming over the summer?
We've got quite a lot of tournaments coming up. In fact, we're actually hosting a tournament in Leyton Orient ourselves, which is linked up with the World Cup before the West. So it's 1 week before the World Cup.
Okay.
And we've got a main senior tournament, which is going to be 16 teams taking part in a multicultural tournament, as well as the vets one. We're going to actually suggest everybody come with their club's name, but pick a country and take part in there, along with the youth competition. So from 10 o'clock to 10 o'clock, we've booked Leyton Orient Stadium, and a whole day. It's going to be Bank Holiday Monday, 26th of May. So anybody that's interested, please do contact us. And of course, ILFL would be partners to it as well, which I haven't mentioned the cameras. I'm taking the
he's hearing about it now. So there we go.
So I think, you know, that one would be a good one to look forward for. We also got the UK Asian Community Cup, which we do. This is the 13th year of it now. We always play the final of that one in a professional stadium. So this year we're working very closely with Millwall Football Club. So that's going to be on the 3rd, which is the prelim, and the finals are played on the 5th of May, which is the bank holiday. Again, 2:30 kickoff. Everyone's welcome to come down, free entrance
very soon, yeah.
to Millwall as well. And there is other tournaments around the country that the vets will take part in. Obviously, ILFL starting up their 7-a-side league, which we're quite looking forward for. It actually keeps us busy during the week as well. And it's in the system now that to look forward for a midweek game. So we don't actually like these breaks in the middle now.
They're good players, and they deserve to get continuous football to maintain their standard,
I think
their
the
fitness and their
standard,
ability.
when that league, the 7-a-side league finished, I think there's a lot of players during the season of that one have became 35.
25, yeah.
And so Bromleys and Shadwells and everybody had really good young, you know, upcoming players, and we were finding it, you know, quite tough actually. From a season before, where it was like, you know, one of the leagues that we played in, like we knew halfway through where there was a big gap with points. So I think that's something that is going to happen now, because a lot of the players that have played competitive will be moving in. So give it another couple of years, the standard will be raised.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of people tend to think that, okay, we're over 35, we can play. But what I've realized is that the people that were high standard of football at that time, they're still playing good standard football now. I mean, you see some of the Tower Hamlets players, you know, some of them, their touches and everything are absolutely outstanding. And I think that's the main thing, really, to keeping it alive.
Fantastic. London Tigers keeping their name in the hat. Another trophy, another season. They're a strong club, competitive club to have involved with ILFL.
Of course they are, and we work very closely with Mesway and London Tigers. But there's another club now who's in the mix as well, in Tower Hamlets.
Absolutely.
So it's looking like, yeah, Tigers and Tower Hamlets will be competing for
But that's what
everything.
we want. We want that healthy competition, and we want each club to raise the bar for other clubs, professional clubs to come in and show their talent and standards. Isn't that right, Nanu?
Yeah, absolutely. Not only that, I just want to reiterate what Ms. Babai said. Teams can be transformed overnight as more and more players become eligible. They turn 35. 2 or 3 players turn 35 in 1 month. That can transform a team. I mean, look what happened to Abahani.
Absolutely.
I mean, from nothing to, that's right. So that's why the bar gets raised all the time, which makes it more and more exciting day by day.
It's fantastic, and we like I said, we could have a whole vet show to itself, because the standard, the ability, the drama, the excitement, the stories that we can get from it, we could have our own show. But unfortunately, we have the ILFL show, which encompasses everything. And what we're going to do in the next section of the show is we're going to talk about the Super Cup final that took place, and that one went right down to the wire as well. We'll have a couple more guests in the studio to talk about that. For the meantime, Mesbah, thanks for coming in. Congratulations to London Tigers once again for achieving another trophy. We'll be back with you right after this short break.
You are watching ILFL Soccer Nights.
Sponsored by Hawk and Eagle.